how to ask a question and why people say there are no stupid questions. Although some people say there are. I say there are no stupid questions. There are lazy questions, but that's different. So let's talk about this. Asking questions, I think, is one of the most fundamental parts of being successful in a course. Whether it's a math course of what I teach or something else, I don't really care. Asking a question is fundamental to success. So let's jump in. So the different methods. And this is going to be, you can do it in person by raising thy hand. Office hours, right? They're one-on-one. If you don't feel like raising your hand in class because you don't like people around you, totally fine. Most professors have office hours where you can go and talk one-on-one. If face-to-face is not your thing, that is fine. Feel free to send an email, right? Everybody has email. Now, with the email, there are two different ways to do that. You can do the traditional type and send. Some people have trouble putting their thoughts into like sentences on paper. So what about a video email? Okay, like I started doing this a couple of years ago with some students that when they send me a question, I respond with just a video of me talking, not even necessarily word like math or anything, just being able to say, okay, I see where you're coming from. Because when you think about it, facial expression, we lose all of those, physical responses when we just type. You read my words maybe in a different way than I am presenting them. So don't be afraid to like we use Canvas. In Canvas, when you go to the inbox and send an email, there is a spot where you can make a video. Feel free to send your instructor an email and say, hey, professor, Disney princess, I do not understand the lecture. Like I am struggling here, blah, 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 blah. Send. Then you'd have to worry about like typing it out, spelling things right, and sounding stupid in an email. Just talk. I love that. I had a student 2 semesters ago where we went back and forth all semester. We sent emails on things all semester and they were all video. It was phenomenal. Okay, maybe all professors wouldn't like that, but I personally think it's great. So this is the general, okay, there are 3 big ways, right? In person in class, office hours, one-on-one, or via email. Now, that doesn't really help you on, but really how, right? Here we go. But how do I ask a question? Like I get in the class and I'm like, I don't get it. And let me tell you, when a student goes, I don't get it, and then they just stare at me like I'm supposed to know what to do with that, it doesn't work, right? Back in the day, I was teaching high school. This is like 15, 20 years ago. I know I look really good for my age. But I had a student and he literally, like I had 8 lines of math and he was like, I don't understand. And I was like, what do you not understand? He's like, I don't understand. I'm like, do you understand this line? Well, yeah. Well, what is this line? Yeah. So line 6 was where he got lost. And if he would have said, hey, that line that starts with 3x, do not understand where that came from, we would have saved 6 minutes of like, what? So first, state the issue. What is confusing you? What do you not understand? Why are you feeling unsure about things? Feel free to start with that, right? You want to let them know what's going on. Hello, Professor Menning. I was really confused about class today. I do not understand solving equations with one variable. I'm feeling very unsure about starting. You don't have to answer all of these, but let's start with like why this email is happening. State the issue. Use complete sentences. Okay? I'm not real flattered when I get the Y for yes, or like, hey, you with a U. Like, I'm not picky about a lot of things when it comes to communicating. I'm all about more communication, the better, but feel free to use complete sentences. And then use as many descriptors as possible. When my students say, well, I'm stuck on that question. Which question are we talking about? Or, hey, I'm having trouble with my homework. Can you help me on problem 4? And I'm like, what's problem 4? Like, how am I supposed to know what that is? So feel free to use descriptors. What is causing you problems? The more succinct you can get it, the more your instructor can help you. So I love it when my students take a picture. Like, okay, again, I teach math. So they'll take a picture of their paper. They'll attach it to the email and say, okay, I'm doing this problem from my homework. I don't know where I went wrong. I know the answer is wrong, but why? And then they send me their work. And I'm like, well, this is fabulous, because oftentimes I will then get a piece of paper and I will like write their stuff down and make notes and take a picture and send it back. And I'm like, okay, you did really great at the beginning, but notice blah, blah, blah. And then it's kind of like sending a video. So it's one of these things of when students give me more of what they need, like they tell me what they need, I am more easily able to help them and quicker to help them, because we don't have to go back and forth 17 times to figure out what the problem is. So the big thing with how do you ask a question? One, figure out what's comfortable for you, right? Are you okay in a big group? If so, and you're in a face-to-face class, it's probably the easiest way to do it. Not everybody's comfortable with that, and that's fine. Then figure out whether you want to go to office hours and have that one-on-one time or email. I guess I could add a number 4, which is Zoom. Feel free to say, I'd like to chat with you in person, but I can't come to your office. Can we Zoom during that time? Great, right? Find what works for you, what makes you feel most comfortable, and then do it. And if none of these make you comfortable, then step out of your comfort zone and try something, because asking questions will be a difference maker. Now, come on, no stupid questions. The reason I think the biggest thing of why people say there are no stupid questions is because when you ask a question, no matter what it is, even if it's like, what color is that fence? Clearly it's white. But when you ask a question, it shows that you want to learn. And I think that, to me, is the greatest thing ever, is that if you're asking a question, whether I think, like, how do you not know that? It doesn't matter how you don't know that. You want to learn it now. And that's how I feel when I ask a question. And when I ask a question and then I go, oh, I know that, I always feel stupid. But then I'm like, I shouldn't. I wanted to know the answer, so I asked the question. And that's fabulous. Now, when I started, I said sometimes there are lazy questions. I find that when like the answer is in the syllabus, or the answer is in the announcement and you didn't read that, or the directions are at the top of the page and you didn't read those are lazy questions. But they're not stupid, right? You want to learn. I want to know why this is happening. Maybe you could have found it somewhere else, but you still asked. So remember, asking questions mean you just want to learn, and that is why we're all here. So good luck.